morning's webinar, Branding Tips for Business. My name is Mike Garcia. I am your host today, and I just want to go over some house cleaning items real quick, just so everyone knows that we will be recording this webinar today. If you have any questions or if you aren't able to stay for the full webinar, don't worry. We're going to go ahead and send a recording of this version to anyone that's registered as well as anyone that's intended. So if you know of someone that did register but wasn't able to make it, they will get a copy of this sent to their email. And again, if you can't stay for the full webinar, we'll go ahead and send you a copy as well. Today's webinar will be short. It's probably only going to be about 30 minutes or so. We might even make it a little shorter than that, depending on if we have time for some questions and answers. If you do have any kind of questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the question module that you should see in your webinar module. Throughout the webinar, feel free to go ahead and type them in. I'll go ahead and save them for the end. And then if we do have time, we'll go ahead and go over those. And if not, then I'll make sure to go ahead and answer those offline on the side. So again, I want to say thank you for attending, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So today's webinar is on branding tips for your business. Basically, what we're going to go over some different steps and some different things that you can do to help brand your business. So it isn't really just for national companies or chains. It is for any mom and pop shops. It's for medium-sized businesses. It's for large businesses as well. And it's really just kind of a strategy that you can use for any size business that you have. Whether you're beginning a new business or you've been a business that's been around for quite some time, this is something that's very important, and it's part of successful sales and a marketing strategy for any kind of business that you'll definitely need. So what is branding, and why do you need it, and how can you really do it the right way? Well, again, today we're going to go ahead and explain what branding for small business is, and then why it's essential to building a successful business, and tips on how to develop and market your brand. So what we're going to go ahead and cover is, again, what is branding? Also, why is branding important? And then brand development strategies. So while you can take branding cues from major national brands like maybe Nike, Target, Amazon, maybe, branding is a different process for a local business as opposed to the large business. So if you're providing a service rather than a product, there are different types of benefits that you need to portray through your branding. Basically, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a look at what branding is and why it's important, and the bulk of the time we'll probably go over strategies and branding for your business itself. So again, what identifies one seller's good or service as distinct from those other sellers? You want to make sure that you are defining yourself and differentiating yourself from your competitor. You might have, you might be in an industry where, there's other businesses and practices that are similar to yours right around the corner. Maybe on every single corner, maybe within a 5 or 10 mile radius, there's at least 5 or 6 businesses that do the same thing that you do. What can you do to differentiate yourself? What can you do to really make yourself stand out from them, even though you guys offer the same thing? Well, there's different things you can do. Of course, the brand itself, the identity, your logo, your colors, whatever it may be, the theme of the office, that can be a good start. Second is, maybe even though they might offer the same techniques or same services, maybe you have something different that they don't have, which is different equipment, maybe newer equipment, different ways of going about those techniques or services. Different things like that that you can actually incorporate into your branding that will really kind of make you stand out from your competition. That's one of the biggest things that I get a lot, and it's one of the biggest things that our support staff gets a lot, is how can I stand out from my competition when we do the same exact thing? If someone's searching for us, they're probably going to be seeing them as well. They're probably going to be searching for them as well, and vice versa. So don't worry. It's something it's not really a light switch that you can kind of flip overnight. Many business owners really kind of have a general idea of what branding is, but a quick internet search defines branding mainly as what differentiates your business from your competitors. Again, these little aspects that I mentioned that you can kind of do to differentiate yourself from your competitor are really going to kind of be the foundation and the start for that. It really kind of goes a little deeper than that, though. Branding is really kind of the core of your business and is the sum of all of your values. So, for example, here at iMatrix, we do value client support, creating cutting-edge products, and because of this, we have really branded ourselves as your internet marketing partner. We don't really think of ourselves as simply just a website company, but we want to be a partner in your clients, or in our client's success, I should say. Our success is based off of your success. We can't just give you guys websites. We can't just give you social media tools and videos and things like that. We want to make sure that you guys are successful, because if you're successful, that makes us successful. If you're not successful, then obviously, you're not going to want to stay with us, and then, of course, in turn, it makes us not successful because we're losing clients that way. So, it's the same thing with you and your branding. You want to think of the client first, the customer first. You want to make sure that they're taken care of. You want to make sure that, if you're providing a service to them, that they're, that it's helping them. It's not necessarily just kind of treating them like a number, that you make it more personable. You make them feel like you know who they are, and kind of learn to know your clients, learn to know your customers, even if it's something that's outside of what they come to see you for. Maybe they have a niece or a nephew or something like that plays sports that they talk about whenever they come in the office. Maybe something that they mentioned as far as a story that they talked about, like the first time that you guys talked or met. Maybe you kind of bring that up again. Whatever it may be, to kind of make them feel like they are more than just a number. Will also help your brand itself, because they'll look at that business as people that care, someone that does look out for them and their best interest, and really wants to help them out. And again, that will start to bring referrals. It kind of creates this wildfire and really has this effect of making your brand itself, not just the office or the clinic, really stand out. Especially if you decide to expand, they're going to look at that brand itself and say, oh, okay, this is something I trust. So branding for your business should portray your main belief, or possibly beliefs if you have multiple. It's not really just a slogan, but really kind of a way of thinking. It's a way of living for your business. It is absolutely not really a spin or a gloss that you want to put on your marketing materials, though. Just remember, you don't want to make it so that, oh, this sounds catchy. You really kind of, if you're going to have a slogan, make that be really what your slogan is, like what you're living your business like. Of course, the same thing with us, your internet marketing partner. We don't succeed without you succeeding, so we want to make sure to help you in any way possible, so we pretty much live it. Again, avoid those catchy buzzwords, maybe popular phrases that you kind of hear to kind of make your branding flashy. It's not all about looks. It's not about making something flashy. It's about really what you're trying to portray in honesty and clarity, and that way the client understands that's really what they're going to expect when they see that. So why does branding matter? Well, branding isn't just something to put on a postcard or website. It's really a way to create a cohesive message that helps people emotionally connect to your brand. They got to think about other things when they see your brand. The connection really comes from kind of striking a nerve or sharing the same values and beliefs as your clients. Sharing beliefs or values creates an instant bond that can kind of be a little difficult to break. So once they see that, they'll instantly connect. And when a client or patient does connect with your business, or the business brand, I should say, on an emotional level, it really kind of creates a loyalty. They kind of almost think of it this way. Think of Apple. There's a lot of people loyal to Apple, no matter what. And personally, I'm not a big Apple fan. I obviously use Android, which is the other side of the coin. But I know a lot of people that love Apple, and I understand why people love Apple. There's simplicity to it. There's a crisp, clean kind of branding that they have to everything that they do. A lot of people love the aesthetics. I get it. I understand it. To each their own. I've had Apple before, and I prefer the other side of it. But the way that they've branded themselves is really, really good. I mean, it's something that a lot of companies do try to mirror. They try to imitate, and for good reason. I mean, Apple's done a really good job where someone sees their logo, someone sees their phone, even though, let's say, the phone might look the same as the last version, there might be little tweaks here and there, people flock to the stores like crazy, even though they might have, let's say, the iPhone 5, and then the iPhone 5S comes out, and there's really no difference to it, let's just say, and besides the letter S on it, and maybe a little bit better battery life. Well, for most people, they might think, okay, well, I'm not going to go and get that phone because my phone's perfectly fine, and I just got it, 6 months ago. But no, there's people that understand the brand, they understand the value, they understand what they're getting out of it, and it's been so consistent that they will flock to the store no matter what. Even if their phone is perfectly fine, they will go buy that because there's that loyalty to that brand. So obviously you don't have to get to that level. I mean, that's an extreme level, but think of it in that aspect, and think of and have a perspective in that point where a lot of people do have loyalty to certain brands. whether it's Coke or Pepsi. There's some people that I know that have been drinking Coke for years, and they not necessarily don't like Pepsi. They just don't drink it because they have a loyalty to Coke. So again, that's a very kind of extreme example, but just to kind of prove my point is make sure that when people not only love your service, that they understand that it's part of what you guys believe in. It's part of your mantra, your business, that they're going to love itself. And they're going to refer people to that as well, not only family, but friends as well. So let's kind of do a little quick recap here. So let's say someone, sees your brand. Let's say, they have a slogan that you have or that you provided, and it's kind of catchy. They go into your business. They realize, well, this isn't at all what it sounds like, your business is supposed to be, and they get upset. Maybe they leave a bad review. It hurts your reputation. So not only does branding also help with the business and referrals, but it does help out with reputation management, and that's a completely different topic altogether. Reputation management is something that can hurt your brand. It's something that could help your brand. So try to do whatever you can in the beginning stages to where you can really kind of, not detrimentally hurt your brand by falsely advertising something that your business really isn't believing in. So branding really does help clients. They do help the patients really emotionally connect. The bond created by your brand will often protect your business on a pricing level as well. You don't really need to devalue your services with discounts or anything like that. Again, the Apple example, it might cost someone $600 for a brand new phone without a contract because they just bought a new phone 6 months ago, but that loyalty is there, so they're okay with paying that extra. Same thing with your services. If they love your business, they love your brand, they're okay if you don't offer a discount every single time they come in. They're okay with that, because they know that they're going to get what they want and the value is there. So remember, the brand isn't just your business. It's you. It's your brand. It's something that represents not just the business and the company. It represents you as a person. So it really sets you apart in your market, and it kind of makes you stand out, and it really separates yourself from the herd by creating itself as a strong brand. So building your brand. Now, building your brand is really kind of a multi-step process. If you haven't really built it yet and you're kind of wondering, what do I do? Or maybe you built your brand and you're trying to figure out, how do I make it a little bit better? First step is really to start kind of defining your brand. Think of it as maybe like an eye sculpture. First step is to really whittle away the outside layer and get into the foundation of your business's cores, your business's values and beliefs, and start by answering a couple questions. Really put your answers in a bullet point format. Maybe make it easy, go back and edit down, or maybe expand it out if you need to. And take some time and thought and kind of think of what you want to do. So first, what makes your business special? Write down what makes your business different from competitors in the market. Do you offer complete health and wellness services? Do you focus on treating patients like family? Are you committed to the latest, maybe high-tech equipment? And then second, create a list of needs of your clients' patients, or clients or patients, I should say. Do they need a fresh approach to a long-term issue, maybe? Are you giving them the foundation for healthy living? Do they need a dramatic life change? Is expert care missing from their previous care? And then third, if you haven't really done this already, define your core beliefs and values for your business. Is it your core belief that the body heals itself? Is it educating clients or patients essential to your business? Or is it your belief that you're providing expert care so that they don't have to worry? Or do you value efficiency and want to provide additional convenience to your clients and patients? Beliefs and values are really kind of different, so be sure to keep them both in mind when you're making that list itself. And then building your brand, once you have followed the process to kind of define your brand, the next step in the eye sculpture is to really build your brand itself. Time to add detail to your branding and hone your branding to make it clear, distinct mission statement. Try to keep it probably within 2 to 3 sentences or less, and your branding will even be stronger than if you boil your statement down to 1 sentence. So just kind of think of what you want to have it be. Again, try not to be too flashy. Maybe kind of think of ways that you can really stick with those core beliefs and values and just keep it short and sweet. So after creating a mission statement, come up with a visual element for your brand. This doesn't really have to be the same thing as your logo. The logo can come later with a little help of a designer if you have one. But what visuals come to mind when you state your mission? Something that you really kind of think about. What visuals do you think about when you think of your mission? This is a good point to ask friends and family maybe for their advice. They might have kind of an outside-of-the-box point of view. And maybe share your mission statement and see what images it conjures up for them. See what they maybe think, kind of collaborate in your imaginative juices, kind of see what you guys can come up together. If you're sharing your mission statement and your visual elements, you have started really kind of the communication part of it. So communicating your brand not only is something that you need to think about when you're talking about it with friends and family, but also when you're talking about it with potential patients or clients. Once you really finalize your brand, begin incorporating your branding into your operational practices, maybe your marketing pieces, and probably really everyday processes and strategies. So things like answering the phone, creating paperwork, greeting clients or patients, etc. So when you think about this stuff, remember to kind of completely engulf it in everything that you do, whether it's your emails, your business cards, any kind of newsletters that maybe that you send out, pieces of collateral that you get printed out, mailers, answering the phone again, anything like that that you can think of. Remember, keep your brand in mind of it. So same thing with iMatrix. iMatrix, as you can see, our colors are really kind of like white and this teal blue. Everything that we do, we normally have with these colors. We try to keep the brand distinct. We want to make sure that everything is the same, no matter what. You can see our iMatrix logo down here. Think of that when you're doing anything that you're doing. It's something that Apple, again, does very well. You go to their website, anything that they do and they provide, it's very sleek, very crisp, clean, just very kind of simple, and that's their brand, and they stick to it religiously. So remember, think of the same thing. Stick to whatever you pick and decide religiously. So feel free to really kind of innovate and strike out a new path for your branding. If everyone in your market is focusing on clean, conservative, traditional branding, don't really hesitate to get creative and break out of the typical mold. So maybe you are kind of thinking of going that route for, like the Apple route, crisp, clean, simple. Maybe everyone around you is doing that. Well, maybe you might want to tweak that out a little bit. Maybe you want to go that route, but you just want to differentiate yourself a little bit more. Maybe kind of just tweak things a little here and there so it's not so crisp and so clean, but at least it's something that you can meet in the middle. There are some sacrifices that you're going to have to make with your brand. You might get these ideas that come in your head, but keep in mind that maybe they were ideas that you saw from somewhere else. You really want to kind of make sure that you're not copying someone, because if you do copy someone's brand, it's definitely obvious, and people will kind of discredit that and discredit you because they realize that, you know what, this is just a copycat, this is just a clone, and your values, even though they might be different than the one that maybe you might have copied, they're not going to even look at your values because they're going to think, oh, they're probably going to try to have the same values as this company, and I'm not even going to go to them. I'm just going to go to the original. So be careful with that when you do that. Try to, at least if you think of something for your brand and you think of colors and themes and logos and slogans, that you're at least seeing and making sure if there's any other competition out there that does have that, so that way you're not copying them and cloning them. And lastly, if it's relevant to your industry, take a stand. Really kind of be assertive in your branding. It's better for a potential client to get a feel for your business, maybe not like it, and not become a client, than a potential client to not get a feel for your business, become a client, and then complain about you or be unhappy. So again, that reputation management piece, it's something that you want to be very careful with, and that way you don't have it be detrimental to your brand. Putting your brand out there lets people know what your business is all about, and if they aren't on the same page, you likely don't want them as a client anyways. So don't worry if people don't really kind of stick to what you have to offer. Be true to it and understand that if it's your core value and it's your mission statement, stick with it. It's your business, it's your brand, and if people don't like it, then maybe you just don't need them as a client, and maybe you do want them as a client, but then maybe they're just that type of person that ends up, getting your services or whatnot, or your products, and then at the end of the day, they're just not happy regardless, even if you provided them a great service, and then they leave you a bad review for no reason at all. So there are people like that. I'm not going to say everyone's like that, but there have been people like that I've seen with clients of mine, with our own business. We look at the history of things and we're like, we have no clue where this went wrong. It just did, So be wary of that, but just take a stand and don't ever try to change your brand or your message or your statement for one person or any 2 or 3 people. Stay true to it. I think, did I go back on this? Hold on a second. Let me see. Sorry about that. There we go. Went back a couple. So sustain your brand itself. Branding is an ongoing effort. It's easy to go a little off track if you're not really paying attention. So remember, keep that in mind. Try not to kind of stray off track to where you're really kind of the opposite of what you're trying to say. Don't let your ice sculpture melt by leaving it in a hot room if you kind of think of it that way. Keep an eye on your sculpture and maintain it to keep it in good form. When it comes to branding, reinforcement is key. You can do subtle things like include your branded logo or slogan on your business cards, maybe your signs, office documents, those kind of things. Create signs inside your office that portray the same message as your branding. Don't change your message or vary it too much. It should probably always have the same core values and beliefs. While you can incorporate different ideas, don't change the focus of your brand. Never change your brand for a client, patient, vendor, or competitor. You believe in your business, and your clients or patients do too. So don't ever let someone change your branding, and remember, keep in mind that not everyone will agree or relate to your branding, and that's perfectly fine. As long as your branding connects with the right audience, stick to it, and that's all that really matters. So again, don't compromise, don't change your message, don't change what you believe in, and stick to what you think your core values and your slogan should be. So again, this one was a short webinar today. We're going to leave some questions open if anyone has any questions on the brand creation, maintenance, those kind of things. Remember, it is ongoing. It is something that you need to, you can't really just simply create a brand. You can't simply just design a logo and just kind of be done with it. Since your brand exemplifies really the identity of your business, you need to maintain it in an ongoing manner. You need to make it consistent in the fact that the maintenance is something that's probably never going to go away. Make an effort to continually really evaluate your marketing and ensure it aligns with your brand. If you feel a certain piece of your marketing is maybe off-brand, take a look at it and see how you can make it on point with the message itself. And as a local business owner, it's tough to differentiate your business's brand from your personality, but you've got to do it. The two work together, and but they can't really kind of be the same. So, you got to remember that. And again, be consistent. It's maintenance. It's ongoing. It's never going to stop. And that's what makes a very strong brand. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the question and answer module. Again, this is recorded, so anyone that has any questions, for us, or if you came in a little bit late, we're going to go ahead and send this out to anyone that did register or attended. And if you have any questions that you want to speak to one of our knowledgeable internet consultants about really kind of how to effectively brand your business or market your business, or what kind of tools we do have that we can provide you to help you do that if you don't have the time to do it, give us a call, 1-800-iMatrix. We'll have an internet consultant talk to you, and they'll give you a personal one-on-one consultation to take a look at your brand, take a look at your business, and see what we can do to help you out. But again, I want to say thanks for attending today's webinar. And again, if you have questions, I'll go ahead and stay for a few minutes to go ahead and get those answered. And thanks again.